agenda or what you do, how you do, or?
We just wanted to go through a blood draw for the pup and
Okay.
pup tubing.
Okay. So I would first, when Janet and Jenny and I talked about doing this, maybe doing it as kind of a round sort of thing like we do in medical establishments, and talk about what cases are here, and in this case how they got here, and what their progress is and such. So, and then we thought we'd do a live tubing with copious explanations along the way. So.
He's due at 7:30.
So, what's that?
He's due at 7:30.
Due to eat? Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. So to recap, for those of you that haven't been involved in the 160 phone calls and the discussions with John Q. Public and observations of these animals on the beaches, this is typical harbor seal season. The mother's pup and the pup's on the beach, and if it's in a public place, people see it. Two pups in Shelter Cove that are reported. They're reported by different people. They may or may not be the same pup, and of course the public is uninformed, and in some cases, like some of the people we talk to don't want to be informed. They see a baby seal and they've got it in their mind that it's in trouble and that it needs to be saved, and we're the people to do it, and we're not doing our job if we don't grab it off the beach. And despite the best efforts of, I think, Jenny and Kevin spent a lot of time trying to educate these folks, and they took it into their own hands and called National Marine Fisheries thinking they were getting us in trouble. And so those are tough, and there's a lot of PR involved with those, and mostly it's all about education, and that's really all you can do. So in an area like Shelter Cove, and the same with the mouth of the Mad where this new pup came from, they're areas with a high concentration of harbor seals, so there's going to be a lot of seals born, and they're going to be on the beach naturally, and so there's going to be a lot of human interference and dog interference, and so what it comes down to is posting signs, educating people that are there. We were just talking about a program that I just saw at the Straining Conference in Santa Barbara, where at the Rookery and Carpinteria, they actually have docents who man a schedule of sitting in a lawn chair at the top of the cliff and the access to the beach, and educating people. There's signs posted there denoting that is a harbor seal rookery site, and also talking about monetary fines and the breaking of federal laws to touch them. And so it's something that we may try and institute in some of these areas here that have high populations, and something that anybody can do. They can sit with a baby on their lap and talk to people. And they can be armed with a phone number of National Marine Fisheries Enforcement and Fish and Game and the local police department, and people with badges and uniforms and guns that might reinforce our message if they're not listening to us. So
I had one suggestion. The more pups we have, the more people will be in here to feed, and we'll be taking calls from the public care people. If you get yourself in a jam with the public, if you start getting into a conversation that goes beyond your basic distressed animal calls, and you feel uncomfortable with it, just tell this person, whoever you're talking to, that you're going to have either Jenny or I or would call them back and take the phone number and pass it on to us. There's no reason why you have to get into some kind of horrible situation with folks, and we can tell you lots of not pleasant stories about public interactions. So please pass it on. We'd be happy to get it.
So currently we have 3 pups. The first one is gaining and growing. He's had some bouts periodically of vomiting, which isn't real unusual in harbor seal pups, knowing that we're giving them their feeding very rapidly, and that we're giving them a man-made formula, and there's a lot of salmon oil in there, which is not necessarily highly digestible. And so, as we adjust the feed down, adjust the quantity and the concentration and such, and it'll usually go back on feed and we'll work them back up. The pup that just came in, we'll get that one out because we can use that one for demo purposes, is more of what we call a full Lanugo pup. You'll notice it's got its white, hairy, furry coat from pretty much head to tail. And it's a smaller pup, it's under 12 pounds. And so this is one, I think it was this week we talked about, what's really a Lanugo creamy pup and what's not. And this certainly fits more in that category because it's definitely smaller. I had them email pictures of that pup, again, on the beach, and tried to get the same people to observe it so we didn't get conflicting information as to whether it was the same pup or whether it was in the same location or not. And the determination was made because it was a full Lanugo pup. It was a small pup, somewhat gaunt looking, and had been sighted for what it ended up being 36, 48 hours at least, on the beach there. So, and that's not really a heavily trafficked area at all, right? So that pup probably mother had taken off for whatever reason. So, and then this latest one, that's one from Shelter Cove. Now there's one at the mouth of the Mad River that again is not a premature pup, is probably absolutely fine. There's been another seal bobbing in the surf back and forth, which is almost assuredly its mother, but it's in a very public place with dogs, etc. And so we're going to try and involve law enforcement in that and get our volunteers to aggressively post signs and keep the public away, because it's, again, 9 chances in 10 an absolutely normal seal that's going to be happily reunited with his mother, or he's going to end up here with us with a tube on his throat 4 times a day. So we could get the baby out, and so we'll kind of go over what's a normal intake. Have you guys done measurements and all of that?
Yes, we have, but with the bigger.
Yeah.